At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Welcome in to Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM Channel 375, and all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck along with Adam Abdalla on the air until 3 Eastern today, and then we'll hand it off to Jim Rome. We'll take your phone calls and your text messages at 310-840-4910. And as we get things started today, let's react to last night and what we saw in the NBA. The Spurs win 122-115 in double overtime against the Thunder in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. And Victor Wembanyama gave us a performance for the ages. 41 points, 24 rebounds, controlling the game defensively. First conference finals game for Wemby, and boy, did he show up last night.
Absolutely. And the double overtime thriller, the fact that it took just fingertips to get there by Chet Holmgren and getting there for the Thunder, and Wemby looking gassed down the stretch, and him hitting that shot, that three-pointer from basically the logo to get there. It was a great game from Wemby and the rest of the Spurs too. I mean, whether it was Stephon Castle, whether it was Dylan Harper, whether it was, and the Thunder looking that poorly at home after the amount of time, the extra time or so that they had off, looking kind of rusty. I don't want to even call it a breakout game because we know what Victor Wembanyama can do, but having this game, stealing this game at home, the talk going in, Chris, was about how much experience that this Thunder team had and how they would rely on that, and how the Spurs, while young and probably this going to be the start of a back and forth in the Western Conference Finals between these two teams moving forward, and how, yes, the Thunder were probably going to be the team moving on. I don't think anybody saw this game unfolding this way in Game 1, and how the Spurs were going to win Game 1 and steal home court advantage from the Thunder the way they did yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of layers to it, right? So, first of all, with what we saw from Wemby, you're right. It's not that it should be surprising, but every time that I think there's an expectation set, he shows up and outperforms what we were even hoping for from a player like that. Listed at 7'4", if you want to believe it. There were the reports throughout the season from Brian Windhorst that people actually think he's like 7'6", which, like during the post-game presser, he has a teammate standing next to him who's 6'6", and he comes up to like his shoulder. He looks like a little kid compared to Wemby. So, like when you kind of consider all of that and the performance and like just the way Wembanyama plays and the aggression and how he just doesn't give a blank. Mm-hmm. He wants to beat the Thunder. Clearly, from watching, it seems to me he does not like this group of players. He doesn't like the way they carried themselves, and he wants to be the one that takes them out. And I think what's cool is that even when you see Oklahoma City try and scheme against, Wemby in the post, they throw double teams, they throw a different defender. The ball gets into Wemby. He has Caruso on his back. He spins, and here comes Chet Holmgren as a defender to help on the backside. And what does Wemby do? He throws it down in his face and one, and then starts yelling in the paint. I mean, this is what is so great about watching this, is that the talent is there. It's something we've never seen before, but also the player himself wants it. And he wants to prove that he's the best player in the world, and he's trying to win a championship, and nothing will get in his way. And I feel like there is a vibe around Wembanyama that we watch. It feels a little different than what we've seen as of late in professional sports. And I don't know if it's specifically with the NBA only because of this AAU culture in the United States, but the fact that Wemby did not grow up here and is not a part of this, like, cool bro club, right? Like that's what it kind of feels like sometimes with these players who have spent all these years together in AAU, into college, and then into the NBA, that there's no animosity. Mm-hmm. There's no like, I'm trying to end your season. I get it, it's just game one. But what we saw from Wemby last night was different than what we are used to seeing, and it felt very much like what we used to see in the NBA 25 years ago, 30 years ago, the Kobe years, the Jordan years, the Magic and Bird years, where those players did not care. And I think that's what's great, and that's a major storyline to looking back at last night was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander getting the MVP trophy on the court, and Wemby just sitting there watching. Okay, cool. You got your MVP. I am going to prove that I'm the best player in the world. Let's go do this.
Yeah, have your little night, have your little pregame ceremony, have your little night, and I'm going to show you what's what. And what's interesting is every player on the Thunder, except for Alex Caruso, essentially had a subpar night. Chet Holmgren had a bad night, except for the block at the end, which kind of saved them and sent it to overtime. You know, like it wouldn't have, that shot was going in, except for the fingertips of a Chet Holmgren.
Yeah.
But Alex Caruso had a great game, had a great game.
Sure he did.
Other than that, SGA, your MVP, your two-time MVP, back-to-back, had a bad night. Holmgren, like I mentioned, had a bad night. The rest of that team, it's something that you didn't think would translate from what we saw in the regular season where the Spurs dominated that matchup, where we saw them beat the Thunder multiple times in the regular season, and you didn't think it would translate to the postseason, and it did. And yeah, it went to double overtime. And look, but it didn't. You didn't think it was going to. Watching the game unfold, I was watching it, and the Spurs were leading at halftime, and I was like, okay, at a certain point, it's going to be, quote, Thunder time, Like, at a certain point, like, you were, like, remember, like, watching other points in the playoffs, the Thunder were losing, and you're just like, okay, at a certain point, like, the Thunder are just going to turn it on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you're like, okay, well, it's the fourth quarter now. They haven't really done anything. And then towards the end of the third quarter, they take the lead, and you're like, well, this is over. And then the Spurs battle back, and then it's a 3-point game, and then you go to overtime, and then you're like, okay, Wembanyama looks exhausted. Just looks absolutely gassed. They get to overtime, and I thought the Thunder were just going to roll away. They go on a 7-0 run, thought that they were just going to go, run away with it. The Spurs battle back. Everybody's playing well. It's for second overtime. Then, obviously, they end up winning the game, and it just shows that Wembanyama, the effort that he's exerting on both sides of the floor, Defensive Player of the Year, all the rebounds, everything that he's doing, exerting maximum effort. He just cares so much on both sides. And you could see it at certain points in the game. He's got his hands on his knees, just standing at the three-point line while the offense is operating around him, and he's just sitting there just waiting, and he's like, okay, time to go. With like 10 seconds left on the shot clock, just conserving his energy because he knows, I got to get back on defense at a certain point. I have to be a part of the offense with like 10 seconds left on the shot clock. But then I also, if this doesn't go well, I got to get back on defense because I'm such a big part of this too.
Okay, so we've been hanging out here before the show talking about Wemby. I mean, that's what we were doing. We were talking with Raj, talking about Wemby, right?
Everybody's talking about Wemby.
Now, last night, Wemby played 49 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time on the air, but you also mentioned it off the air before. You seem to be very concerned over the minutes played by Wembanyama last night.
It's not the minutes.
It was a double overtime game in the conference finals.
It has nothing to do with the minutes that he's played. It has nothing to do with the amount of minutes.
But you seem very concerned over it.
No. It's not the double. It's not the minutes that I don't care about the minutes he's playing. It's the playoffs. It's the Western Conference Finals. You're playing all the minutes. He should be playing the entire game. Like, whatever. I don't care about that. My point is, and what I said to you and Raj before the show started, is that, and it's not me, I'm not the only one pointing it out. Go online. Everybody's pointing it out. The dude looked exhausted.
Yeah, I mean,
and the fact is, and we talked about it the entire regular season leading into the postseason, and it might have been the reason why he didn't get as many MVP votes as Jokic and as SGA did, is because his lack of use during the regular season, so that because they were saving him for the postseason.
See, I think the Spurs handled it the right way. I mean, he played 29 minutes a night throughout the season. You're right. When you look at the MVP voting, perhaps That's why he finished third in the MVP voting, even though he's the best player in the world. Something that we said here on this show months ago.
Yes.
Remember that show like 2 months ago where I was like, I don't care what anyone says. The best player in the league right now is Wembanyama. And he will show it at some point. Like, here's what I don't get about the concern over it. They did it the right way, as in the Spurs conserving the minutes, because he got to this point healthy, and this is all that matters.
It has nothing to do with
exuding more minutes throughout the regular season doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to get to last night, game 1 of the conference finals, where you can play 49 minutes.
It has nothing to do with health. It's not about his health. I'm not saying that because they didn't play him, he's going to pull a hamstring, or rupture an Achilles, or anything like that. That has nothing to do with it. It's his conditioning. It's that he's not used to playing this many minutes. Is that if this series goes 7 games and you're playing every other night, he's not used to that. He's not used to playing 42 minutes a night. They didn't play him during the regular season. He's not used to that. You saw it last night.
Weird. Well, why are you so concerned over that?
I'm not
concerned. He was fine last night. He was the best player on the floor last night.
Dude, the way
everyone's going to look tired at the end of a double overtime game.
Everybody's going nuts over that shot that he hit, the 3-point shot from the logo. That looked like a get me over 3. That looked like a shot that was like, I don't feel like running anymore. I'm shooting this. And the way he was jogging back to the bench just looked like, I can't believe that went in either. I need a break.
You are way too concerned with this. Honestly.
I'm just telling you.
What do you want? In game 2, you want them to play him to 30?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that next season, when we get to next season, they need to think about the way that they use him more and maybe start to stretch him out a little bit more.
Okay, but don't you think the Lakers would have preferred to play Luka less in the regular season, so then they would have him for their postseason?
That's an injury. There's a difference between usage and injury.
But a part of the way the Spurs handled Wemby throughout the season was to not push him when he was dealing with little injuries throughout the season and to limit the minutes so they could get to this point. This is exactly why they did what they did.
We're talking about two different things. I'm talking about a. You're talking about a guy.
He needs to play more in the regular season.
Yes.
That's exactly what you're saying.
Play more in the regular season.
I'm saying the Spurs handled it perfectly because we're now at this point.
So you're not exhausted at the end of a regular. He was tired before they got to overtime.
But it doesn't matter. They got here. That's the point. He can do it now.
I understand that. My point is that sure, great for game 1. Tomorrow night for game 2, when he's got his hands on his knees halfway through the game. This is how it's going.
You are way too worried about this.
Okay.
I would be more concerned over Chet Holmgren looking gassed while getting his ass kicked.
That's fine,
too. That, to me, would be a bigger concern.
You can be concerned about that, too. This, to me, looks like a pitcher who hasn't been stretched, that they conserved him, and they're just like, well, that's it. He's pitched all he can pitch, and that's it. That's all he's got.
But your example is flawed because that pitcher would then go out and throw 9 innings of hitless ball. That's the thing that I think you're missing. He was by far the best player on the court last night.
But he also has to play.
He's been the best player in the playoffs
He has to play tomorrow night, and then in 2 nights after that.
Yes.
And then in 2 nights after that.
The
and then in 2 nights after that.
I get it. You're just going to keep going with this, but
yes.
The point is, in the playoffs, you get rest. There are no back-to-backs. There are no 3 and 4 nights. You get rest in the NBA playoffs. That's where it's different. That's why you can handle it.
Okay, I understand that. I'm telling you that the Spurs for next season should consider playing him more minutes during the regular season so he can have more energy so he doesn't look dog-ass tired at the end of a regular.
It was double overtime.
No, dude, he looked tired at the end of regulation yesterday. He had his hands on his knees at the end of regulation yesterday. He was walking down the court at the end of regulation. It was before overtime.
You can call and text the show at 310-840-4910. I don't quite understand your concern about him looking tired. He was by far the best player on the court.
I'm not saying that he wasn't.
Tired.
I'm not saying that he wasn't.
You know, a part of the story with Wembanyama to this point is the MVP that was handed out to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander before the game. And obviously, it's something that Wemby is thinking about and motivated by. Here's after the game. Here's Wembanyama when he was asked by the media, was it personal not getting the MVP?
pretty natural response for a competitor to see another competitor get something that he wants, whether it's the MVP trophy or whatever it might be. I'm just curious if that was in your mind at all, knowing that Shea had got that award and you were in the top 3 for it. And, did any part of tonight feel personal? Some of your facial expressions kind of look like you were really, really going for it.
Yeah, for sure. Everything you just said.
Wemby also went on when he was asked about watching Shai Gilgeous-Alexander get the trophy at the start of the night.
What does it feel like to see someone else get the MVP trophy right before you step into, I guess, what is basically the biggest game of your career, and then to have the best performance of your career?
Feels like I still got a lot to learn, and I want to get that trophy, many times in my career.
There you go. Victor Wembanyama. He is not afraid of letting you know that he wants it, and he does not like the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Maybe if you played more minutes during the regular season, he'd be out there getting that trophy.
Yeah, I disagree. I mean, you can keep saying it, but I don't think people are on your side.
I think that we clearly talked about it yesterday, that the reason that he didn't get more votes is because they're considering that he didn't play enough minutes during the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that's why people voted that way. But it doesn't I understand if we're looking at the voting, that's on the reporters and the media people who are voting on the award. It's your failure to not see that he's the best player in the league.
Yeah, he absolutely is the best player in the league.
For them to not consider that in 29 minutes he was doing what he was doing per game and not realize that did I not on this show, did I not say, let's see what happens when he bumps those minutes to 40 and what he can accomplish in the playoffs? Mm-hmm. It was very obvious what was going to happen.
There's going to be a point, and it might come next season, when he wins both MVP and Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. I agree with you.
It's going to happen.
I mean, it does ask the question, as everyone in the sports world is marveling over what we saw last night from Wembanyama, the 41 points, 24 rebounds. Who was the last athlete that you were just absolutely wowed by? Think about just any sport, any athlete, someone that there were expectations when they showed up, they exceeded the expectations. And it was just an absolute wow moment player that you've seen. You can call or text the show, 310-840-4910. To me, the last one I can think of is Shohei Ohtani. I mean, Shohei Ohtani was billed as this pitcher and hitter, and he showed up to Major League Baseball, and he did both, and he does it well, and he's at the top of the game in both. Something I've never seen before. He's the best baseball player I've ever seen. It's true. And I think he's the best baseball player anyone's ever seen. Shohei is the name that comes to mind when I think of someone that's completely wowed me in sports. Mm-hmm. The next name I would say is probably Early Mahomes. Early Mahomes, that first year with Kansas City, that was completely wow. To see what they were doing, all of the points that were being scored, the blowout wins that the Chiefs had in that first go-around, and the way that offense just clicked, that was wow.
Yeah.
When we think about those players, those athletes where it was an absolute wow moment, because a little of the chatter with Mahomes was that we heard this stuff from Kansas City that in practice he was doing stuff that was crazy. And it's just wait until this guy takes over.
Yeah.
And he took over and he was immediately the best quarterback in football.
Yeah. It sucks that it didn't translate to the NBA, but you saw it in high school. And then when he got to college, it was Zion in college.
Yeah.
You saw the highlights from high school, and you were like, just wait till this guy gets to college, and he's on TV every single night when he's playing, because we saw some of his high school games were on TV the way, like when LeBron started playing his high school games, and that was the first time you're like, okay, this guy's, they're putting high school games on TV. And then obviously he never actually made it to anything because of injuries and stuff in the NBA, but it was Zion in college. I'm trying to think of anybody else. You're right. It's probably Shohei in baseball. It's Mahomes in football. I'm trying to think of anybody else in the NBA.
There's shades of it in 2015, 16 with Stephen Curry. Some of the stuff that Steph was doing where the three-point shots from half court and just the unbelievable avalanche of offense that would kick in for the Warriors. You know, they had that streak during that run where there was like something where they won like 70 plus games in a row after the fact that they would get up by 15 points in a game. Mm-hmm. And it was like something where it was just automatic. They would get to 15 points up on an opponent and the game would just be over. And there's just no chance for a team coming back. And like that was semi this, but like the thing with Shohei and with Wembanyama is I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
You know, he's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with handles and a pull-up J like he's a guard.
Yeah.
Like that's what's crazy about it. It is you're putting all that together. So you can call or join the show through text at 310-840-4910. That's the question today. Who's the last athlete that you were just wowed by? You can text the show at 310-840-4910. We'll continue talking about that as we go on here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Jacoby Brissett is holding out. It might be the funniest holdout that we've seen from a quarterback in the NFL. We'll talk about that coming up next.
Well, guess who's back?
Aaron Rodgers has finally decided to return to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's a one-year deal for the future Hall of Famer. Reunited with Coach Mike McCarthy, they won a Super Bowl in Green Bay. Can they do it again in the Steel City? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
Is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
We're going to talk a little NFL in just a moment. We asked the question, who was the last athlete you were wowed by in sports? Off of last night's performance from Wemby, the 41 points, 24 rebounds. Let's see, a text, and you can always text the show at 310-840-4910. Text from the 615. Victor Wembanyama is the must-see athlete on earth. I hope Giannis can get to Minnesota. And that's a team that's going to be rumored throughout the offseason. So there you go. The must-see athlete on earth is Wembanyama. From the 365, this is, he says he's Adrian from Detroit. He says, a longtime Raptor hater, LeBron James #1 fan. I know you guys thought I would hide after the Lakers got eliminated, but you guys were wrong. Ha ha. Just wanted to say the Raptors suck, and I want your guys' opinion on Shea winning the MVP over Wemby after game 1. I don't know what that has to do with LeBron James, or it has to do with the Raptors. But thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. As we,
I think it's the
Adrian in
first time
Detroit.
someone's gotten that for a text.
Yep.
Hang that from the rafters,
Yeah.
Adrian.
Yeah, pretty good. Thank you. My thoughts on my thoughts on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander winning the MVP. He was worthy of winning the MVP. I still think Wembanyama is the best player in the league.
Yeah.
I said it months ago, and he showed it last night. And if Abdalla wants to argue that he looked tired and that the voters are not going to vote him MVP because he doesn't play enough minutes, that's fine. I don't think the Spurs care about that. I think they care about winning games here in the playoffs. Okay. And that's what they did in game 1. Text from the 346. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander isn't going 7 for 23, a worst playoff performance. Again, the rest of the playoffs series is far from over. I agree. I mean, I don't think this series is over after last night.
I think it's a little tighter now, and Vegas would agree. This is the first time the entire playoff run that the Oklahoma City Thunder are plus money to win the title. So if you're a betting person and you like Oklahoma City to still win the title, jump on it now because this is the best odds you've ever gotten at plus money to win the title since the season started to win the title.
Yeah.
So if you want them, they're out there plus 125 if you want them.
You going to make that bet? Going to roll over the DraftKings? You going to make that bet?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. From the 719, this is what the text says. I'd say the player that wowed me the most was Barry Sanders.
Okay.
TV did not do that guy justice. He was so much smaller than everyone else. Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing Barry Sanders live in person back in the 90s, and that was like in all the years that I got a chance to go to games and see players up front, live, close, growing up. Barry Sanders is definitely on the list of players that it was cool to see in person when I was a kid. He was incredible.
So I have one that it's a very homer pick, and it's because I've seen him in person a few times and watching him, not growing up, but basically his entire career. And he's now a Hall of Famer, but it's Devin Hester.
Okay, yeah.
Devin Hester.
He was definitely a wow player.
Devin
I remember
Hester
the
changed
highlights.
the game, man.
The highlights from Miami in college are insane.
Dude.
What is it? The one highlight against Duke where he's running backwards.
Yeah.
And then comes back around and then runs for a touchdown.
And like, I remember getting to a game late once after kickoff and missing a return and was pissed because I missed a return. Was upset because I missed a return.
Yeah.
Because you can't get to a game late when you know there might be a chance that the Bears get the kickoff and he's returning it back.
I agree. Devin Hester, add him to the list from the 208. Hey guys, love the show. The latest player that completely blew me away and gave me goosebumps was Ashton Genty in college.
Okay.
That was fun. All right, yeah. I mean, Genty in college was incredible. So I think that that works as well. So the last player you were wowed by, my selection is Shohei Ohtani. I think Ohtani is something that I've never seen before in baseball. I'm not old enough to have seen Babe Ruth play. And,
you're not?
And I think, quite honestly, when we look at the stats, I think Ohtani's outdoing Babe Ruth. I think Ohtani's doing what Babe was doing, but he's doing it at a higher clip. Yeah, I wasn't around for the Babe Ruth days.
Yeah, but I think if you gave Ohtani a steady diet of hot dogs and beer and nightlife, I wonder if Ohtani would be doing the same. I wonder if you had the same regiment, if he'd be doing the same.
So there you go. Keep the text flowing. You can text us at 310-840-4910. Who's the last player that completely wowed you in sports? As Wemby was incredible last night with the 41 points and 24 rebounds. Yep, NFL time. Here we go. Jacoby Brissett, who do you think you are? Wait, so he's holding out from Cardinals OTAs, which started yesterday? Jacoby Brissett, who clearly thinks that he is worth the money that Malik Willis got from the Dolphins. Because that's why he's doing this, right? He wants to get paid like Malik Willis did. Both are backup quarterbacks. Neither should be starting for any team in the National Football League. Mm-hmm. But when you see one guy getting a big payday from the Dolphins, you look to yourself and say, okay, I need to get paid too. And that's why I told you a couple weeks ago, Raj asked us the question, which rookie quarterback would start the most games this upcoming season? My answer was Carson Beck. I think Carson Beck is going to be the starter for the Cardinals.
So he's getting $4.8 million as his base salary this year in 2026. I don't know if it's necessarily Jacoby Brissett, who do you think you are? I think it's a combination of who do you think you are and who do you think that you play for? Because the Cardinals have a win total of 4.5 this year. That's tied for the lowest, along with the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
Your team, unlike the Miami Dolphins, who you mentioned, who signed Malik Willis, are, by signing Malik Willis to a very lucrative deal, and a very lucrative deal next year, for some reason, are at least taking a flyer on him because they believe that he could be something, and maybe they don't need to draft a quarterback next year if Malik Willis turns out to be something. The Cardinals don't believe Jacoby Brissett is going to do that because he is a free agent in 2027. They drafted Carson Beck. Cardinals don't have anything besides Carson Beck and Jacoby Brissett. So what? And they have Gardner Minshew. But still, what are you? Who do you think you are?
Gardner Minshew's just hanging out.
I understand. Okay, he's there, but like, the Cardinals have picked the lane of suck. They are marching for Arch. They are gonna.
I disagree with that. Why would you take Carson Beck then?
They're gonna suck for a duck, dude. Carson Beck throws it more to the other team than anybody else, and you know that. I mean, come on.
He says his arm is better.
Cool, good for him.
It's the best he's ever felt.
Awesome. They know that if this doesn't work out, again, it's a flyer. It's a very cheap flyer. If it doesn't work out, they can draft whoever they want to with the first or second overall pick. That's what this is. If you're doing them a favor. If you're paying fines left and right and they don't have to pay you, great, awesome. You're saving them money. What are you doing? You think they're going to I wouldn't renegotiate with him. Okay, fine. We got Minshew and we got Carson Beck here. Okay, cool. I'll start Carson Beck and try to be even worse. That's the game plan. Because the Cardinals know this is what they're doing. They are absolutely not trying to win this year. They are trying to trying to set a foundation and get a quarterback next year. They see the writing on the wall. They see what's coming out of college next year, and that's what they're doing. And you want more money? Get out of here.
Now, Brissett has not been at the facility for the voluntary workouts, and that's what the OTAs this week are. The next time there is a mandatory minicamp will be for the vets and the rookies June 8th through the 10th. So we'll see if Jacoby Brissett changes his tune by the time we get to that date. I'm guessing he won't, and he'll likely just hold out until training camp when the reports start to come out that Carson Beck is, struggling, right? Like, that's what would give him some leverage, is knowing that Beck can't play and that he will be the best option for the Cardinals this upcoming season. And then you can debate whether or not they hope to be improved or if they are, what did you call it? The old suck for a duck?
Suck for a duck. No. You came up with that one.
You came up with that in our
you came up with
conversations?
You came up with suck for a duck. It's marching for Arch. We needed something for Dante Moore, who's playing for Oregon, the Oregon Ducks this year.
Suck for a duck.
We couldn't come up with anything that was like that flowed.
Right.
That rhymed with more.
Quite honestly, I think suck for a duck sounds pretty good.
I think it does too. Because nothing really flowed with Dante Moore. Like, you can't win less for more. Like, less is more? It doesn't, less is more? Like, it doesn't.
It's cleaner.
It is, but it doesn't really, I don't know. Suck for a duck, I think, kind of works.
The NFL has approved Nashville will officially host the Super Bowl in 2030.
Congrats.
And the Minnesota Vikings will host the draft in 2028.
Also, congrats.
Both approved this morning by the NFL.
Good job.
So there you go. There's your NFL news and notes with Bleck Abdalla.
Good for them. Should be fun.
Yes, it is. Pollen season is here, but a dirty car doesn't have to be. Wash it away with Tidal Wave Auto Spa for a quick wash and that clean car, happy feeling. Find a location at TidalWaveAutoSpa.com. The Big Ten is continuingly pushing towards a 24-team playoff. They have their spring session taking place right now in Southern California this week, and head coaches are on board with this, which is interesting, Abdalla, because from what I understand is the head coaches around the country, for the most part, of the different conferences, they don't want a 24-team playoff. But apparently all 18 head coaches in the Big Ten are for the 24-team playoff. We'll tell you the latest with that coming up next.
Well, guess who's back?
Aaron Rodgers has finally decided to return to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's a one-year deal for the future Hall of Famer. Reunited with Coach Mike McCarthy, they won a Super Bowl in Green Bay. Can they do it again in the Steel City? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
The Big Ten is hosting their annual league meetings right now in Southern California. So all the universities get together and they talk about the upcoming college football season and all the different topics taking place. And we saw the coverage of the other conferences around college football last week while they were holding their meetings, notably ACC with Jim Phillips kind of coming out and saying that they want to align with what the Big Ten is trying to do. The Big Ten is the conference that's really pushing for the 24-team college football playoff. Now, one of the things that I saw from this, Pete Thamel has an article up on ESPN.com which quotes Minnesota coach P.J. Fleck. And here's what's interesting from the quote from P.J. Fleck. Last week here on the show, we played audio from Miami head coach Mario Cristobal, who's on a podcast on ESPN saying that the coaches don't want expansion in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
That they don't want more teams. They don't want these changes. It's not good for college football. Now, here's P.J. Fleck. Here's the quote. Quote, "It's got tremendous steam and power behind it, especially from the 18 head coaches in the Big Ten." So there you go. Everybody's 18 for 18 on what we should do. I think it speaks volumes. And that is the end quote from P.J. Fleck. So Fleck is on the record saying that all 18 head coaches in the Big Ten are on board with the idea of expanding to a 24-team college football playoff.
Are they, though? Because
I think they're just following marching orders from the conference.
Oh, they absolutely are. Because Ohio State coach Ryan Day.
Yep.
It's debatable whether it's best for Ohio State. You can go back and forth on that, but it's certainly best for the conference.
Oh, yes.
And great for college football in general.
Of course.
Here's Dan Lanning.
Yep.
Head coach of Oregon.
What does good old Dan Lanning think?
Ryan's in the same similar situation, as is Kurt Signetti. He's in the same similar situation, too. Is it necessarily the best for the programs? No.
Nope.
It's not better. But it's better for the college football. It's better for the conference because what has happened is it's better for the college football playoff because every bowl game has been devalued. The end of the season looks completely different. You're a failure as a coach if you don't make it to the college football playoff.
Okay. In college football, you were a failure as a coach when you didn't beat your rival. So, like, for people to be concerned about making the college football playoff, like, all right, I mean, there's a head coach who's clearly not listed in this article who is petrified about the way the structuring of schedules has gone. I see no quote from Lincoln Riley, Big Ten head coach Lincoln Riley in this column, saying that we need, like, what is the Lincoln Riley quote going to be? I want there to be a 24-team playoff so then finally I can act like I'm a good head coach. Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only reason some of these guys want it is so then they can claim that it's an accomplishment to be in the top 24 to get into the playoff.
Here's what he said, Lincoln Riley, on whether it's his team is ready to make the college football playoff. He said, it's time. The program's ready for it.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. He's also quoted in, like, his team coming into this year. He's telling everyone in Southern California that this is the year that they're opening their championship window. He's been there for like 5 seasons.
I caught some flack for saying that I thought we had opened up a window, but it's just true. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've got a little bit of credibility in terms of having been part of some places that had done it at a pretty high level.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Lincoln. Afraid of his rivals, removing teams off the schedule because he is trying desperately to get the conference to expand to 24 teams.
So he can get in.
So he can get into the playoff and not look like such a failure that he is.
I think it's clearly obvious that the conference has told these coaches, this is what you're supposed to say. However, there are a few coaches, Ryan Day, Dan Lanning, who do not care.
Signetti.
Well,
but you know why? There's a clear...
Because they're going to make the college football playoff regardless.
List the names again. Who are the names?
It was Dan Lanning.
Dan Lanning.
Signetti.
Signetti.
And Ryan Day.
It was
Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon.
And what do they have in common?
They all make the college football playoff.
Well, not just that. They're the 3 most successful football coaches in the conference.
Yes, exactly.
They're the ones who are successful.
Yeah.
So they don't need the cheap way of getting in.
No.
By expanding the playoff.
Ryan Day literally said, is it good for Ohio State? Probably not.
Probably not.
But it's good for the conference. This is ridiculous.
Of course it's ridiculous. Of course it is.
Good for the conference.
Of course it's ridiculous. It's something that nobody has asked for.
He's going to be like, now I got to beat Michigan twice now? Awesome.
Well, right. And with all of this, I know that Bill Connolly wrote a good article looking back at last season and what it would mean at the end of this season if there was a 2014 playoff. And essentially, every game for rivalry weekend, the stakes for rivalry weekend, which is the apex of college football. It's why we love the sport. It's the best. But essentially, if you look back at what's at stake out of those games in the final week of the season, none of them matter.
No.
None of the games matter. Because all those teams, even when they're upset, they're going to be eliminated from, or they'll get in. It's not like they're being eliminated from the playoff.
Pride. That's what you have. It's prideful to beat Michigan if you're Ohio State. But if you lose, you're still going to get in the college football playoff, so it's not going to matter because it's good for the conference.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's good for the conference.
That's the key. And also, shout out to Dan Wetzel on ESPN, who may or may not be a fan of the show, Bleck Abdalla. He tweeted, not only did he tweet Bill Connolly's article on ESPN.com, but he writes on Twitter, a 24-team college football playoff has become the sports version of AI. Nobody asked for it. Almost nobody seems to actually want or like it. But decision makers who are very busy trying to convince you that it's inevitable and it's also not, they don't understand the implications to going down this path to a 24-team playoff, much like it seems like tech billionaires are trying to tell everyone that we want AI and AI is going to change the jobs and all of our lives. Yet I haven't met one person who wants to actively use AI in their life.
No.
Like, everyone's resisting of it, and we all see the forest through the trees. It's not something that we need or want.
Yeah, Dan Wetzel, thought leader.
Shout out, Wetzel.
Thought leader.
We were talking about that last week on the show.
Absolutely.
It's a perfect comparison for what it is in the college football playoff. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Greg in Michigan, you're on with Bleck Abdalla. What's up, Greg?
Hey, you guys. Thanks for taking my call. Mr. Positive. Boom, shakalaka.
Oh, yes, Mr. Positive.
Yeah.
Yes. Hell yes.
Hey, you're talking about athletes that impressed me.
Yes.
Oh, my God. It has to be Ali. He changed the dynamics of sports entertainment. He made people realize that you can change it through being social.
Sure.
How he did not stand up to the draft. He did not do the draft because he felt, what he felt. And, oh, my God, Ali is the most revolutionary figure in sports, just like my boy Elvis, who changed music. He started the sexual revolution, youth culture censorship, and gave teenagers an identity and brought black music to the mainstream. Ali, by far, is the greatest and most influential athlete that has ever lived. Don't get me wrong, Jordan is great, LeBron is great specifically, but if you want to change the world, it's Muhammad Ali, the greatest, bar none, you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Positive. Boom shakalaka. We appreciate the phone call.
That's a good one.
There is Mr. Positive. He calls into Josh Graham's show all the time, and we shout out Mr. Positive, and thank you for listening to the Bleck Abdalla Show. You can always call us at 310-840-4910.
I like that one. That's a great one. Yeah, because he's right. Because that's when, you obviously had all the interviews with Cosell and everything like that. So, yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, and if you think of an athlete that you've been wowed by, that's the conversation here. You can text the show at 310-840-4910. Off of what Wembanyama did last night, 41 points, 24 rebounds, absolutely wowed us. And so when was the last time an athlete was able to do that to you? You can text the show at 310-840-4910. Myles Garrett has yet to talk with Todd Monken. We'll update the latest with the Browns coming up next here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right, Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM Channel 375. All of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck along with Adam Abdalla, broadcasting live from downtown Chicago until 3 Eastern. If you want to join the show, you can always do so by calling or texting the show at 310-840-4910. As we continue on here on the show, we're responding to what we saw last night. The Spurs beat the Thunder in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Wembanyama last night was outstanding. 41 points, 24 rebounds, an all-time performance for his first game in the conference finals. And essentially, he's doing stuff that's just amazing. It's wowing us to see a player who looks like that, with that stature, but be able to move and to affect the game defensively, but also be able to pull up just over half court and bury a three-point shot to tie the game when it kind of felt like the Thunder were going to go on and win Game 1. So Wembanyama last night was outstanding.
I haven't heard a stadium go from that loud, where it looked like the camera was shaking at a certain point, to pin drop silence that fast. Because you're right. Like, it didn't...
Yeah.
Wemby pulling up from that spot didn't seem like it was possible. Like, of all the plays they could have run, I didn't think that he was just, he's shooting. Okay. Well, and he made it.
He just went for it.
And that was it. And then everybody, it was just... And it only tied the game. It didn't give them a lead. It didn't do anything. And everybody in that arena was just like, oh, man. And that was it. And it didn't, I mean, they ended up winning the game, obviously. But at that point, it was just so demoralizing for the fans. And it looked like the Thunder at that point, too, because it looked like at that point, they're like, what else can we do to stop this guy tonight? It looks like nothing. And obviously, they're the defending world champions. They have the MVP on their team. It wouldn't be surprising. And the odds would dictate that Vegas, it's the exact same point spread tomorrow night as it was last night. So Vegas believes that, for lack of a better word, the Thunder will rebound and find a way to win and cover Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals.
You know, we'll dive more into this as the show goes, but outside of just Wembanyama being amazing, the other aspect that I think is something that should be pointed out is the defense from Stephon Castle and the defense from Dylan Harper. Mm-hmm. You know, how many times did Harper get in a passing lane and just pick off a pass from the Thunder last night? Like, I know Wemby's back there playing rover, essentially, because he was guarding Caruso, and he was just there to help, and he was doing everything defensively. But the fact that you had Harper get in those passing lanes and to pick off those passes, the defensive effort overall from the San Antonio Spurs last night was really impressive. So you can text the show at 310-840-4910. When was the last time an athlete wowed you? To me, it's Shohei Ohtani. What Shohei has done in the playoffs and to win back-to-back championships with the Dodgers and being able to pitch and hit and be the best hitter in baseball while also being one of the best pitchers in baseball, to me, I'll never be not astounded by that. Mm-hmm. It is incredible what Ohtani is doing. And that to me is the guy that I look at the last time I was wowed the way I was last night with Wembanyama.
Yeah, it's appointment viewing with Ohtani, especially in the playoffs, you know, because it seems like the, not necessarily clutch gene, but these guys know how to turn it on and they know when it means more in the playoffs. And I think that with Ohtani especially, it's not something that we've seen before in this era of baseball. Guys just haven't been allowed to do it. Growing up, you're not, at a certain point, you're cut off.
Yeah, right.
You're not allowed to, like pitchers for a long time in the National League, they're like, yeah, you hit at the end of the lineup, and you know, it's basically an automatic out at a certain point. You know what I mean? And then eventually they added the DH in both leagues. And so it's not something that you see cultivated in leagues until Ohtani came over, and it's like, no, this guy could do it. And they actually made a rule for him on days he pitches that when he's pulled, he can still hit, and he's not pulled from the lineup. and it's specific to him. So they had to actually change the rules for him specifically. So you're right. It's not something that we've ever seen before with Shohei Ohtani. So I think it's a really good example.
You know, and we talk about Wembanyama and his defensive effort last night. So this is, I saw this on Twitter, and the credit goes to ESPN Analytics. Dean Oliver's the one that posted this. Last night, Wembanyama allowed 7 of 10 shooting and 6 3-point shots to Alex Caruso. Okay? Because that's who he was guarding for most of the game, and he was sagging off. It was a strategic decision by the Spurs. So Caruso, 6 threes, 7 for 10 shooting. Okay. Spurs know that. Wembanyama still had a plus 5.3 defensive net points, which is in the top 1% of all player games this season. So his help defense was the best, some of the best defense we've ever seen in an NBA outing, which is just insane because clearly the Spurs know that Alex Caruso cannot shoot the Thunder into the finals.
Yeah.
Caruso being able to just get hot is not going to lose the series for the Spurs, and it is more impactful to have Wemby out there as that guy, the catch-all everything at the rim to block and to disrupt every Thunder player that enters the paint. And so I thought that was a crazy stat to kind of point out. And that brings us to the Defensive Player of the Week, brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. I'm going to nominate Victor Wembanyama as our Defensive Player of the Week.
Well, yeah, he's Defensive Player of the Year, so it makes sense that he would get Defensive Player of the Week.
Awesome.
As well.
So let's lock it in. Defensive Player of the Week, brought to you by the Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. I saw this story on Pro Football Talk. Myles Garrett has yet to have a conversation with new Browns head coach Todd Monken. You know, our guy.
I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
Yeah, Monken's just trying to get a sweet
I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
Sweet haircut. Sweet haircut guy. Todd Monken, the reports from Mary Kay Cabot in the Cleveland.com is that they have exchanged text messages, but they have not spoken in person as Garrett is not at the facility this week for the OTAs. He also did not participate in OTAs last offseason. He's one of the best players in the NFL. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing he wants new money. I'm guessing he will hold out and likely skip as much of the offseason program as possible here in this offseason. Is it a problem that Myles Garrett has not had a conversation face-to-face with Todd Monken, our guy?
So I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
So last month was a OTA that was mandatory, and Myles Garrett was fined $1 million. And so he missed that.
Yeah.
This week, voluntary. He's not being fined anything. Monken said, he would love everybody to be there. Myles Garrett's not the only guy that's not there, but he would love everybody to be there. But it's voluntary, and that's the definition. You don't have to be there if you don't want to.
Yep.
Next month, involuntary. You got to be there. So we'll see. Is he going to cost himself another $1 million to just not be there? I like money, Chris. I would show up. It's $1 million.
Money's good.
To him, it's nothing. To me, it's $1 million.
The Bleck Abdalla Show. Pro money. We're about money.
I mean, if he wanted to show, could I show up in his and just take? Could I show up and get the money?
Yeah.
For him. Could I just make the money?
No, you can't.
Can I make the $1 million?
I think Myles Garrett, his right arm is the size of you and I.
Oh yeah,
combined.
Yeah.
So I don't think
but
you or I showing up can get that done.
Could the Bleck and Abdalla show up?
Nope.
Go through the drills.
No.
And get the money for him.
Nope.
Could we go to Cleveland, go through the OTA, and split? I do half and you do half.
No.
And get $500,000 each. It'd be so worth it. Come on.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would try.
Come on.
They're
it's
not
an
going to pay
OTA.
us.
They're not hitting.
They're not going to pay us.
We're not getting hit. I'll relay the information to Myles. I'll tell him what he missed.
So you're going to go through the activities.
Yeah.
and then relay the information.
Yeah, for $500,000 between me and you. Come on.
Could you imagine you in a Myles Garrett jersey?
Oh, yeah.
Just out there?
Full size, too.
It goes down to your knees.
So I look like a little kid
You're wearing
to bed.
His helmet. And the helmet's like all bobbling around on your head.
Look like a kid in the Little Giants.
Yeah. I can picture it right now. I mean, how tall are you?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm like 5'8". I'm short.
Okay, so 5'8".
Yeah.
And you're out there in the big jersey and in the helmet.
Yeah.
Wearing his shoulder pads.
His everything. I'm just in his uniform.
His shoes.
Everything. Just everything.
You look like one of the little kids when they at the NBA arena where the halftime when they show the kids in the adult uniform and they have to put the big shoes on and they're trying to run down the court in the big shoes.
Doing the quick change.
Yeah. That's you.
Yeah, for $1 million in for public humiliation, absolutely in. And I'll tell Miles what he missed. There's no problem. In the heat, whatever. I'm in.
I would love to see that.
Dude, for $1 million, absolutely. I do think, though, it is interesting that he's only exchanged text messages with his head coach.
Yeah.
He's the best player. He's the best player.
Yeah, he is.
He's the best defensive player in the NFL.
Yep.
He's not just the best player on the team.
Yep.
He's the best defensive player in the NFL.
No, he absolutely is. I also think that Monken made mention that there's other players missing. It is one of those things with a new coaching staff coming in, you like everyone to be on board.
Yeah.
Does that, I understand some of this is voluntary, so you don't have to be there. But they would like you to be there.
At least for the at least show for the involuntary part.
I know what he's saying publicly.
Yeah.
Is it's voluntary, but we've seen behind the scenes, especially with a new coaching staff and it's the best player on the team, you like everyone there.
Yeah.
You like everyone there in person. Mm-hmm. It just helps build the new kind of regime. That's the thing. The last coaching staff got fired, and you can point to all the different reasons to why it didn't work, and especially the fact that they didn't win games. But usually when you get a new group in there, you want everyone on board.
Mm-hmm.
And so is it weird that they haven't spoken and it's just text messages? Yeah, probably. Maybe you can kind of point to the fact that Monken is a offensive coach. And so you're assuming the defensive coordinator and defensive coaches have actually talked to Myles Garrett. So maybe that's what you could lean towards.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's weird.
Look,
it's a little weird.
If I'm the Browns, I'm not giving him more money. I already gave you the most money. I gave you the most money. You're making $31.5 million this year. That's a lot of money, dude. I understand this is not a good team. I understand that I have to say this very quietly because I'm tired of the Army.
What? Tired of the Army?
I'm tired of the Army coming after.
What are you talking about?
The quarterback situation is not good.
What do you mean, Army?
The Army coming after the people.
What's going on
on social media?
Who's coming after us on social media?
Whenever you post anything about the Browns quarterback situation, there is I believe that it is a hired army.
Oh,
there is a paid army. That is of defenders.
Do tell.
Explain
this one to
me. The Sanders family.
Oh, are you saying that they're hiring bots?
I don't know what they are.
To defend the honor of Shedeur?
Shedeur, Dion, the other brother.
Interesting.
All the Sanders. Maybe even Colonel Sanders. I don't know, man.
I don't think they're going to defend
I don't think they're defending him. I don't know, man. He's got... the chicken's good.
Okay, thank you. Wait, so explain. So here's why.
And it's not just me.
No, it's out there. I think there is something fascinating going on. There's a lot being written about now, and we've brought it to the show before. How didn't we talk about that band, Geese?
Yes, Geese.
It's a rock band that was propped up based on fake social media activity.
Yeah.
So what is going on social media, and probably people listening to the show have no idea that this is something that takes place, but there's this whole world of clipping. And then not only clipping, there's also this whole world of interaction to then make it seem as if topics, artists, athletes are being talked about all the time online.
Positive or negative.
Positive or negative to then get hooked into the algorithm.
Yeah.
So then either if, with the example of Geese, it's a band, a rock band, because there are so many accounts talking about them and featuring their music on various social platforms, it gets picked up in the algorithm. And then next thing you know, people who have no idea that that exists think that everyone else is talking about this hot new band.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened. And there was an article, what was it, in the Atlantic,
Something
talking
like that,
about.
And then everybody goes and listens to them, and everybody.
Yeah, and then you know, like me, I see that, and I'm like, oh, they're the new hot thing. Maybe I should check them out.
And then you do, and then it inflates their numbers,
right.
and yada yada yada.
But like the original interest was fake.
Yes.
Okay. That seems to be happening, and then also there's this world where you can, and I know you see it a lot in politics if you're online. There's a lot of back and forth, right? Always arguing over topics. And a lot of that, I think it's pretty well known to people that it's campaigns being ran by adversaries of the United States with our social media networks.
Yeah.
Whether it be China or Russia, right? Like that stuff's been reported and it's out there, right? That a big topic takes place and then it's flooded with all of this activity online.
Yeah.
So what Abdalla's pointing to is that it would appear as if when Shedeur Sanders is in the conversation, there is social media chatter about Shedeur Sanders that's louder than what actually is taking place.
So last week, we posted a video about the story that Dion wants to talk to Todd Monken about Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, it was a good back and forth. We talked about it last week here on the show.
We posted it on social media.
Clipped it.
And an army of people, bots, who knows? And like, it's not just us; it's every post.
You can see it. Any post about Shedeur Sanders is very active in back and forth and people arguing over Shedeur Sanders. And quite honestly, he ain't that good to get that much attention online.
No, and that's the problem. Is like
it seems like it's not authentic. It seems like it's fake stuff.
Yes, which is wild because that doesn't happen about any other conversation that we clip and post about.
Well, and I think it's also noticeable about it's specifically to Twitter.
Yes.
You can post the same video to Instagram or TikTok, and the same back and forth and people defending Shedeur Sanders does not take place.
And I don't understand.
It would lead you to believe that there is a company or something out there that's actively paying to try and make the perception of Shedeur Sanders to be better than he actually is.
And I don't understand why an army has either been hired or whatever to defend a fifth round.
Well, it's them.
And
that's why.
At the time, as of right, I don't know his status right now, but last year he was a third string quarterback. Dylan Gabriel was technically higher on the depth chart than he was.
Well, he's if you read the mentions, he's one of the great quarterbacks in NFL history.
He's the greatest of all time right now. The greatest of all time.
Haircut.
And then you got Todd Monken, who probably has no idea that bots even exist.
And so, now look, this all being said, I will tie this all together.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If I'm Myles Garrett, maybe I do want more money. Or maybe I don't want to be a part of this situation anymore. Maybe I'm realizing money ain't it. Maybe I do want to be out of this situation, and I don't want to be a part of this, and I do want to win. And this mess isn't worth being the highest paid defensive player anymore and continuing to lose and being at the bottom of the AFC North every single year is not worth it when I could be traded to a contender instantly. And that team would instantly be one of the few championship contenders out there with Myles Garrett on their team.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. We will go to power rankings coming up next, quarterback and head coaching combinations. We dive into that coming up next.
The Rams, led by NFL MVP Matthew Stafford, headline the league with 7 primetime games. Catch them all on the Westwood One Sports app. The schedule is out, and we're breaking down what it means for your team. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Broadcasting each and every day from the great city of Chicago, I'm Chris Bleck along with Adam Abdalla, hanging out with you until 3 Eastern. Now let's go on out to Colorado. Parts unknown, and that's where we find Raj Sharon. It's Power Rankings on a Tuesday with Raj. What's up, Raj?
Hey, guys, thanks for finding me out here in Parts Unknown. Well, in lieu of some news this week in Pittsburgh, we've got Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers back together. In Arizona, we've got Jacoby Brissett holding out for Mike LaFleur. I figured, what better time, now that we kind of know who all the quarterback-coach combos are, to do a little bit of power rankings our own special way. And we're going to start off with you, Abdalla. Our first category is the Adam Sandler and Rob Schneider category. Forever linked are Adam Sandler and Rob Schneider. They had some hits a long time ago, and they're still doing work today. Abdalla, what NFL quarterback head coach combo or combos are you putting in the Adam Sandler and Rob Schneider category?
All right. Forever linked. The problem is there's not a lot of coaches that are like the longest tenured head coaches. All these guys have moved on or been fired recently. I'm going to go, had some hits a long time ago. Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with those two. Because I know what your next category is, and I'm going to save my other one for the next category.
Thank you for your time. Jeez, Raj. All right. Well, I was gonna say Sirianni and Jalen Hurts are on my power rankings. They're not number one though.
Okay.
Number one is McCarthy and Rodgers. That's it. McCarthy and Rodgers are number one.
But no one saw that. Like, you didn't see
Number
this,
one and Aaron Rodgers or Adam Sandler and Rob Schneider.
Yep. Number one. They're number one in my power rankings for this because, to Abdalla's point, many of the coaches, but also the quarterbacks are still holding on, are in pretty good situations. Like, could you maybe squint your eyes and say that Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor are that? Maybe.
But have they had any hits?
Yes, they've made the playoffs.
Are those hits?
They made the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
they just haven't, and you could see if the Bengals miss the playoffs again.
He's out.
Schneider's
There was
out.
a time when we were calling Arrowhead Burrowhead because Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor could go into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you those three: Philly, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh.
Okay.
All right, guys, next up on our quarterback coach combo power rankings. It doesn't get better than this. Even as an adult, give me some Uncrustables. Peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and jelly, they're just perfect together. NFL quarterback coach combinations, Mr. Black.
All right, first up on the power rankings, give me the Los Angeles Rams with Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. That is a perfect combination. I think that is also right there in that top tier with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. They're right there in the conversation. Is it a little too early? Or is it too early for me to say right below those two? I would put Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams.
Nope.
Perfect combination. So those are my three. The combinations, quarterback, head coach. I'm going to go Rams, Chiefs, Bears.
I'm going to go Chiefs, number one, Mahomes and Andy Reid. That's who I was saving. from the Forever Linked.
You're calling Andy Reid Rob Schneider?
What have they? I mean,
oh no!
Forever Linked had some hits a long time ago. What have they?
No!
What have
We
they
suck
win
again.
last year. They win last year. Peanut butter jelly. Yeah, you're right. Stafford and McVay.
Come on, Bears. Great
Do
combo.
it, Adam. You want to do it? Just do
It's
it.
a
man.
little early. It's
never too early for a PB&J.
Dan Campbell and Jared Goff.
Okay, Okay. All right.
Grit. That works.
There's some grit there. I like it.
Dan
All right.
Campbell and Jared Goff.
All right, next up, Abdalla, in our power rankings of coach quarterback combinations. I believe in one of you. With the emphasis on the word one, i.e., you don't believe in the other one.
Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy.
Okay.
That's the number one for me.
Who's the one you don't believe in, Abdalla?
Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to go with, until I see it change, I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings. I don't believe in Kyler Murray yet.
Okay.
I want to see it change. Like, if it changes, I can change it because we haven't seen Kyler Murray's been injured.
Yeah.
But I want to see it change. But as of right now, the one I don't believe in is Kyler Murray in that pairing. So I'm going to go with those two.
All right. Give me the Buffalo Bills at the top of my list.
That's a good one.
With Josh Allen and Joe Brady. And then also, I would like to use another selection on the Los Angeles Chargers. I believe in Herbert. I don't know if McDaniels or if Jim Harbaugh, if that's necessarily the answer. But I do believe in the quarterback. I think Herbert is a great quarterback. And then also, I will also take the Dallas Cowboys. I believe in Dak. I'm not certainly sold on Schottenheimer.
Not buying Shoddy? We're not buying
Well,
Shoddy.
yeah, I mean, well, we'll see. But I do believe in Dak. So I'm going to go 3 quarterbacks I believe in. Herbert, Dak, and also Josh Allen.
All right, Bleck, next up, our power rankings today, quarterback coach combinations. A fling can be fun. A short-term pairing that could have some, positive results. A fling can be fun, Bleck.
And you don't want me to say the Patriots, right?
See what you did there.
Man, I thought that would be a better laugh. I didn't think Abdalla would be offended by that.
I didn't want to get offended.
No, you were offended at the
Yesterday
joke.
Abdalla was like, are we going to keep doing this? Are we going to keep doing this? And Bleck let it last less than a day.
Okay. Can we say Seattle?
You can say Seattle.
Are we sold that Sam
Super
Darnold
Bowls are
is
won.
going to?
Children are born during flames.
Yeah,
I mean, it happens.
right? Like it was fun, but I don't know if Sam Darnold's going to be the long-term solution for the Seahawks. So I'm gonna give you the Seattle Seahawks as my number 1, and then number 2, Raj. I'm coming out to parts unknown, Denver, Colorado, with the Denver Broncos, Sean Payton and Bo Nix.
Which side though?
Well,
which side?
I think it's Sean Payton is the side that you trust.
There you go. Oh,
yeah. I mean, he's the one that's seen it. He's been around. He's won.
No, but
he's got credentials.
But is he there for the long term?
I don't know. I don't have that answer.
Okay.
It could be a short-term fling.
Okay.
Could be.
Okay. I am gonna go. This is where I'm gonna go Cowboys. I don't know if Lil Shotty is going to be around for a while.
Little Shotty.
Well, you go with Lil LaFleur all the time. Why can't I go Lil Shotty?
No, you can.
Okay.
I like it. It sounds like a rapper.
He does.
Lil Shotty.
I'm going to go with Lil Shotty, Lil Brian Schottenheimer. And I am also going to go with Lil LaFleur too. I'm going to go with Lil LaFleur also in Arizona, because Arizona, they go through coaches all the time. So, I mean, what do you think this is going to work?
The quarterback of this combo isn't even there right now. He's currently holding out.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with those two as that combination.
All right, guys. And finally, in our power rankings today of coach and quarterback combinations, Abdalla, toxic passion. Maybe not the healthiest thing, but man, you can't quit it either. Just some toxic passion.
Can I put the Bears in this one?
Ooh. What's toxic?
Didn't they start the relationship with that they didn't like each
it was coach tar.
Ben Johnson and right now Caleb Williams didn't think that he liked him and that they yell at each other and but it's healthy. It's toxic passion.
I don't think it was reported that they yell at each other. I think Ben Johnson coached them hard. But if you want to pick that, go for it.
I'm not saying it's unhealthy arguing. I'm just saying, I'm gonna say that it's toxic passion. They can go after each other, and it's not necessarily bad, but it's not. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, okay, so here's in the category, Raj, that I'm getting tripped up on because I can point out toxic situations for quarterback play.
Yeah.
But I don't see toxic quarterback situations where you're getting the passion where it's somewhat worth it. Right? So for my power rankings, I would say Arizona is one because of the unknown quarterback situation and Brissett holding out. That to me is a bit toxic. That's not great. I would also say Cleveland is in the mix because Cleveland has 3 guys all fighting for the position. It seems like Deshaun Watson's going to be the guy, but we don't know. And so I would put Cleveland and I would also put Arizona in that. But to your point, Raj, there's no real success with either of those.
Can I also slide
I will tell you
in?
who I had in mind when I wrote it, and it was a team that you already used earlier with the Fling, Chris. I wrote it for Denver. The toxic, passionate fighting between Bo Nix and Sean Payton.
Yeah. Can I use a different pairing for toxic passion?
Yeah, go for it.
Les Snead, Sean McVay.
Okay.
Because of what happened with the quarterback selection.
And Ty Simpson is crossed in between he's in the crosshairs, so it involves
the quarterback is in the crosshairs, and maybe when because remember, there was a report that Matthew Stafford should have signed a deal by now to maybe extend past this season.
Yeah.
And he has yet to do that.
Right.
And maybe if this is the last year of Matthew Stafford, this might also be the last year of Sean McVay.
By the way, another team on toxic passion I had in mind when I wrote it was Baltimore, with Jesse Minter and crew guilting Lamar Jackson into participating in OTAs.
That's a good one, too.
That does it for power rankings today, guys.
Those are good.
Thank you, Raj. We appreciate that. That's fantastic. Good power rankings with Raj here on a Tuesday. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Hanging out with you. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save on commercial auto insurance from Progressive. Get a fast quote at progressivecommercial.com. So The Athletic had a survey that they sent out to players in the NBA and asked them, what's the one team you don't want to get traded to? There's one city and one team specifically that was the overwhelming winner, that players in the NBA, a place and a team that they did not want to get traded to. We'll tell you what that city is coming up next.
Well, guess who's back?
Aaron Rodgers has finally decided to return to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's a one-year deal for the future Hall of Famer. Reunited with Coach Mike McCarthy, they won a Super Bowl in Green Bay. Can they do it again in the Steel City? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Hanging out with you until 3 Eastern right here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. The Athletic asked NBA players to vote on a bunch of different topics. And one of the categories that the players responded to was this. What is the number one team you do not want to get traded to? So you can think about the NBA. Obviously, you're going to start to look at the bottom of the league, right? Players don't want to get traded to a losing situation.
Yeah.
I would guess some of this is also market size in the type of city that you're getting traded to. Like, I would imagine on a list like this, you'll never see Toronto on said list because I think NBA players love going to Toronto.
Yeah.
I think that usually Miami, you'll never see on a list like this. Players love going to Miami. They love living in Florida. Yeah. So Orlando would be on that list as well. I would guess the Texas teams would also be on the list as far as teams that players would like to go to. So you're talking about San Antonio, Houston, Dallas. They're never going to make this list.
No.
So here's what the players responded with. There's overwhelmingly a team that's number one.
Interesting.
Number one, the team that players do not want to get traded to, the Memphis Grizzlies.
Memphis?
At 35.8% of the vote.
Memphis?
Number 2, Washington at 11.7. Sacramento is 3 at 10.8. New Orleans at 6.7%. And Brooklyn is the 5th team at 5%, tied with Utah at 5%. So, okay, let's dissect this. Memphis, I can kind of understand. It's a team that's not necessarily winning.
Mm-hmm.
And LeBron James this past season trashed Memphis. He was out saying that there's nothing to do there and it's a boring town.
Yeah.
So, like, we've had active players trash Memphis.
That's fair.
But to get 35.8% of the vote.
That's a lot.
Is surprising.
That's a lot.
Washington, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
They're the worst team in the league. Sacramento, not surprised. Right? Like, it's not only is it a bad team, it's a smaller city that's not on the coast. So I understand what Sacramento. New Orleans has been poorly run, but man, I love the city of New Orleans.
New Orleans is a great town.
It's a great place to be. I love New Orleans. Brooklyn is surprising. It's surprising to me that even if it's a bad team,
still New York.
Players are not cool with going to New York.
Still New York.
Right. Like I thought that they would be not on this list. I thought the number one team, the runaway team, to be the team that players did not want to get traded to, I thought it'd be Utah. Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
I thought that would be the number one team players wouldn't want to be wanted to get traded to.
I'm surprised that there's that big of a gap between Memphis and Washington, 35, almost 36% to 11%.
Right? Right? Like that's wild.
That's crazy.
And Memphis wasn't that bad. Like Washington was by far the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
And
hey, living situation, man.
Yeah, but is Memphis really that bad?
Apparently, if LeBron is trashing it, yes.
Yeah, but LeBron is living a life that, I mean, how bad can it be staying in 5-star hotels? Or wasn't that his knock? Was that they don't have any exclusive 5-star hotels or something like that? Mm-hmm. And so he was not happy with the accommodations in Memphis.
He's not happy with it.
All right. So there you go. The Athletic NBA players voted for their number one team they did not want to get traded to in Memphis. 35.8% of the vote is number one.
Wow.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. I have a work computer. I have a laptop at home.
Yeah.
Both computers, I just go with the generic background.
Yeah.
Do you pick a background with your computer?
Nope.
I just let whatever it pulls up is whatever's there.
Good old generic.
I don't change it.
I think I have a beach on mine.
Oh, do you?
I think beach.
I think my background right now is some water with a couple of geese and a mountain range in the background. Yeah. I think that's what those are.
Mm-hmm.
What's that over by the edge of the water?
I don't know.
They look like birds of
Polar
some
bear?
sort. No, it's not a polar bear. They're birds.
Okay.
It's not a polar bear. Raj is in parts unknown in Colorado, and yesterday, Raj, you saw something that was interesting.
I did. I saw something of note, and to me, the punchline of it, but I'll lead with it, was as soon as it happened, I was like, I can't wait to tell Bleck Abdalla about this tomorrow. That was like my first reaction. Okay, let me set the scene for you guys.
Okay.
I was taking my daughter to dance class. My daughter is 8. Okay, so
sure.
Little girls, they go to dance classes, right? I'm taking her in yesterday afternoon. I'm the only dad there. Okay, it's all moms and it's Raj out here in parts unknown. Okay,
right.
Hell yeah.
So I walk in and there's a couple other moms there getting their daughters ready, maybe some other kids there. And it is like the stereotype of the just overwhelmed mom on every one of them I see. Okay. Like I feel bad. They're trying to organize a million things. You can tell it's like, okay, if I get so-and-so to dance class, I can get 10 minutes to rest. It's that look.
Sure. Right.
With the exception of one mom. All right.
Oh no.
And there's one mom, and she's the mom who's done up. Okay, she's looking very presentable. All right. And I note it. Okay, I'm like, okay, all right, that's the mom who I guess wants
for a
to
suitor at the dance studio.
Maybe so, and definitely trying to make everybody else feel bad that she got her stuff.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to sit down at the dance class, and she's got her laptop out. I'm like, oh, she's gonna get some work done or whatever, I assume. And I go to sit down, and I'm not. I swear, I'm not trying to pry. The way it was positioned, she was at a bench thing, and I'm I'm just getting ready to sit down. And I look over, and her desktop wallpaper is up. And her desktop wallpaper is a picture of herself. Not her kids. Her son was right next to her, and her daughter was obviously in the class. It was a picture of herself. And I went into deep thought of, is it okay to make your own headshot your desktop wallpaper? And that was when my next thought was, I can't wait to tell Bleck and Abdalla, because I know they're going to have thoughts on this.
Okay, so it was a work headshot. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, like is it a
No,
a LinkedIn
it
pic?
looked like she might have been in nature. I didn't want to stare, so I didn't get a super long look at it.
She's modeling in nature.
But yeah, something like that.
She's like in the woods. She was like, this is like a destination.
Possibly.
Okay. All
Like
right,
let's
okay.
imagine. Let's pretend, for argument's sake, that it was. You know, if Abdalla or you know what, Bleck loves Paris. Bleck, you go to Paris, and it's a picture of just you. Autumn's not even in the picture, in front of the
just
Eiffel
me.
Tower. Could you
Yes.
make that your desktop wallpaper?
No chance. So she's in the woods. She's just a picture of her
I
in
think
the
she was
woods
doing like
enjoying nature.
she may again. I didn't get a great long look, but maybe let's say for theater of the mind, doing a yoga pose or something like that.
Oh, she's doing yoga in the woods.
Which one?
Okay.
Downward facing dog?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that one. I know that one. It wasn't
Okay.
that one.
It wasn't that one. That's the only one I know.
Like
I know,
arms
it's the
kind of
only one
stretched
anyone
out
That's the only one
wide.
anyone knows. Lotus?
Yeah, there's something Lotus.
Lotus pose?
Okay, so she's a yoga, perhaps a yoga instructor looking done up
that
at
was
the
my
dance
thought.
studio.
Let's not
That
give
was
her
my
that much
thought.
credit.
Well,
Let's not give her that much
I mean,
credit.
Raj, perhaps, she, okay, all right, she's out there.
She's dripping in it.
All right,
Okay.
okay.
Okay, so many possibilities. This could be a work computer, okay?
And she's
It was
a
a
yoga
Mac.
instructor?
It was
Is that what
it
you're
was a
saying?
Mac. No offices are passing out Macs for work computers. Let's be honest, guys.
But it could be like a work, like it could be her work
Yeah,
computer,
she could
self-employed.
be, yeah, right. She could run a
self-employed.
yoga
If she
studio.
were a yoga instructor,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe she has to make videos.
She could be.
And I assume she was in athleisure when she was at the dance studio?
Yeah.
This is the
Yes.
what we're describing?
She's in yoga pants. She's in yoga attire.
Yes.
There-
Yes.
It's
Yes.
just- yeah,
All right.
it took a while to confirm, but yes, I think we're
Yeah.
on to something
Yeah,
here,
okay.
Abdalla. Yes.
Here's the thing. Okay, so let's play out this scenario. Let's play single mom.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, she might be with someone.
I'm just playing out this scenario because
Okay.
she's not in the picture with someone.
Okay.
Single mom,
Got it.
work computer, working computer.
Yes.
Okay. Doesn't want pictures of her kids on display.
Yeah, in the yoga studio when she's working.
Yeah, exactly.
I get that.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that's why the kids aren't in the background.
No
so
dogs,
she had to
no
choose,
pets, Raj,
well, it's
nothing?
out in the wild.
Didn't see any pets. No
Okay,
pets.
just heard.
So that's why she
yoga in the
picked
wild.
that picture. Now, I would just say if it's a work computer, because like I take my computer, this computer,
Yes.
I have it here with me at work,
Correct.
obviously,
You are at work.
and at work. And like I take it with me, like when we've gone to the Super Bowl,
Sure.
we've gone to the draft.
Yeah.
Like I take it with me.
You showed your desktop
You might wa-
your desktop picture to Caden Proctor.
I did. I
You
did.
showed it off.
I did. I showed.
Yes,
off,
you did.
I showed off my deck
Yes.
to Caden Proctor.
Yes.
And my background is just whatever. So if anybody were to be walking by and see my background, it's not like a picture of like my wife and my daughter. It's not a picture of me
Yes.
with my family.
It's
just
presentable.
whatever. Exactly. I feel like that's what she wants to present.
Yes.
Business.
Yes.
Business.
And Raj, I'm assuming based on your descriptions, it's something to present.
Yeah, maybe she's presenting.
Is that a fair guess to say that she is trying to present what she is offering on the desktop?
Boy, we're making some assumptions here. We're making some jumps.
yeah, now we are.
Well,
yeah.
now we're making the
all right.
assumptions.
Sure,
Oh,
yes.
we're making
Now
the
we
assumptions.
are, yes,
now
correct.
we're the
Okay.
ones making the assumptions. Okay.
Thank you, Raj.
You're welcome, fellas.
There he is. Parts unknown, Colorado. We will react to what Victor Wembanyama did last night against the Thunder. We were wowed. We'll talk about that coming up next.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right. Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM Channel 375, and all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck, along with Adam Abdalla, broadcasting live from downtown Chicago. We're hanging out with you until 3 Eastern, and then we'll hand it off to Jim Rome right here on Westwood One Sports. You can call or text the show at 310-840-4910 as we continue to talk and be amazed by what we saw last night from Victor Wembanyama. The San Antonio Spurs beat the Thunder last night in double overtime, 122-115. Wemby had a performance for the ages. 41 points, 24 rebounds, double overtime, making big blocks, doing everything for the San Antonio Spurs, and essentially living up to what we were all waiting for and hoping for. And it feels needed in the NBA right now. In seeing the way Wembanyama plays and the fact that he looks different than anything we've ever seen before in the sport, but then he also shows up in the biggest stage on NBC, prime time. Here we go, Western Conference Finals. Like the first time since 98 that we've had two teams face off with 60-plus wins in a playoff series. I think you have to go back to Bulls Jazz in the finals, the last time you had this, with the Thunder and the Spurs. So we are getting an all-time matchup, and the player with all of this promise and hope shows up and has a great game in game one. It was really cool to watch last night.
The youngest player with at least 40 points and 20 rebounds in a playoff game, hitting threes from the logo towards the end of the game. I mean, just great plays down the stretch, great plays in overtime, that game winner. And it was something that, yeah, you're right. I think that it lived up to the hype. I think that it is magnified too, and also blown up because who it happened against, that it was the Thunder. And I think that going into the game yesterday, as we were previewing it, saying that when you do like the meme of who the country's rooting for, and the entire country says San Antonio Spurs, except for the city of Oklahoma City, and that part is blue, where it's Oklahoma City. The entire country is rooting for the Spurs, except for the city of Oklahoma City, because I feel like, yes, they have the MVP. Yes, they're going for their second title in a row, but the way that they have gotten to this point, the stigma around the Oklahoma City Thunder is that the way that they play, while they're great, and yes, they are the best basketball team in the NBA.
Yep.
When you go to somebody on the street, a casual NBA fan, a diehard NBA fan, and you just bring up the Oklahoma City Thunder, the talk will be about the flopping and the foul baiting and how they kind of, work the refs and everything like that. Whereas what the Spurs do and what Victor Wembanyama does, and playing hard defense and, quote, ethical basketball, and this is what was needed and kind of unexpected. Going on the road in game one, extremely hostile environment, as a 6.5-point underdog, and pulling out the win in double overtime, stealing home court advantage is something that I don't think anybody expected to happen in yesterday's game.
I think some of that, though, to layer into the conversation of why people are choosing to support and follow and like what the Spurs are doing in comparison to the Oklahoma City Thunder, I think a lot of it has to go with the style of personalities. And what is so apparent to me is just the connection between Wembanyama and Stephon Castle. Stephon Castle is not shy about saying, what did he say going into halftime? We could be the best basketball team in the world if we do this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, he's not arrogant. He's confident. Right? Like, it comes across differently. And maybe it's because we've seen Stephon Castle win in college. He won at UConn. He's a champion in college. He is a stud, man. And the fact that he's a tough dude, Dylan Harper was fantastic last night. To see the rookie, and I always think it's with the way my brain works is that when we get to this point of the postseason, players who were drafted last year are no longer rookies. You played in a full NBA season. You're in the playoffs now. We always see it, and then people expect rookies to kind of falter at this stage. We shouldn't. You're no longer a rookie when you get to the Western Conference Finals in your first season. Like, he's had enough seasoning to be ready for the moment. And Harper was incredible last night. He's a tough dude as well, defensively playing great defense, and he was in the passing lanes multiple times. And I just feel like the style of what Wembanyama brings to the table is just different than you see from the Thunder players who are all look at me, complain to the refs, let's flop our way through a game. Where Wembanyama, when a call goes against him, what's the first thing he does? Every time, he claps to himself, and then he walks over to a teammate and goes for a high five. If you notice, when things don't go right for the Spurs, Wembanyama internalizes that and goes and gets dapped up from his teammates. He's not arguing and barking with the referees. He's not laying on the court acting like Chet Holmgren has done at various points in the postseason. There's just an aura. And I think it's the phrase that kids would use today is aura farming. And it feels like the Thunder are a bunch of farmers. They are constantly trying to be the cool kids in class at every step. Even when the MVP is announced and the whole conversation is, look at all the Burberry trench coats that SGA bought his teammates. And what did he buy? He all bought them APs.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, my wife says that those watches are probably $100,000 each.
Yeah, I know. I'd be.
He had. Right? Like, if you got the money, I guess.
It'd be nice to be one of those teammates right now.
Sure. But the point being is that the vibes coming from Oklahoma City is always more about their fashion and like them trying to be cool instead of just getting to work and playing basketball.
Yeah.
And the vibes I get from the Spurs is like, that's what they are. Wembanyama is just obsessed with basketball, understands the history. He wants to be great. And I think that's the vibe and why people sense it. It's authentic and people like that. And that's why people want to root for the Spurs to take out the Thunder in this series.
I think it comes from the organization too. Like, I'm not trying to take anything away from what Wemby did or what the players did, but these are the Spurs that we're talking about, right? Like, Mitch Johnson has done a great job. And I'm not trying to take anything away from the players or Mitch Johnson himself, but Popovich has been around this team sporadically throughout this season. And like, you see him on the side during practices. And like, I believe after Wembanyama was ejected from the game, Popovich went to the airport and he was like the first person to meet him at the airport after he got off the plane for the next game.
It's not only him. All of the players from the past are all around, always.
And so the Spurs have this great organizational philosophy of getting all these former players, Popovich around. They're just a great basketball organization that doesn't do everything that the Thunder are doing. And again, the Thunder are a great basketball team that don't need to be doing all of this stuff. They would be a great basketball team without all the foul baiting and without all the flopping and without all of the complaining and without all of that. And the Spurs, it's not surprising that a guy like Dylan Harper was ready for the moment yesterday. And it's not surprising that a guy like Stephon Castle has come on and played great minutes and been a great rebounder and been a great defensive player, or that Wembanyama was ready for the moment yesterday. Like, none of this stuff is surprising because you look at the name on the jersey and it's the San Antonio Spurs because of what they were and what they've always been able to do as an organization and who they keep bringing around and seeing the former players in the stands and at practice and everything like that. It's not surprising. And then, of course, you add in the talent that is Victor Wembanyama and like the literal alien that he is. It's his logo. It's what he's doing. And so him showing what he's capable of yesterday at the height of his powers is just insane.
Wow, it's not even the height of his powers.
I know.
Like, we're just getting started.
That's what's crazy.
With this Wemby thing.
Look at the ages of the stars that I just mentioned, of Harper and Castle and Wembanyama. This is just starting. Like, this is the beginning of whatever this is going to. I know it's just game one of the Western Conference Finals too, and some of this can be hyperbolic, but if this is the beginning of what's to come, could be the start of the players that we just talked about and Popovich and that run. This could be the start of another dynastic run of the Spurs organization.
No doubt. Yesterday was an all-time youngest starting lineup in NBA Conference Finals history from the Spurs. An average age of 22 years and 346 days.
Insane.
So it is an all-time, we've never seen a starting lineup in a conference finals younger than the group of the Spurs last night. So before the game, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was handed the Michael Jordan MVP trophy for the regular season. Clearly, it has motivated Victor Wembanyama. And here's Wemby talking about, was it personal not getting the MVP this season?
Pretty natural response for a competitor to see another competitor get something that he wants, whether it's the MVP trophy or whatever it might be. I'm just curious if that was in your mind at all, knowing that Shai had got that award and you were in the top 3 for it. And, did any part of tonight feel personal? Some of your facial expressions kind of look like you were really, really going for it.
Yeah, for sure. Everything you just said.
Wemby also went on when asked about seeing SGA get the trophy. This is his answer pregame.
What does it feel like to see someone else get the MVP trophy right before you step into, I guess, what is basically the biggest game of your career, and then to have the best performance of your career?
Feels like I still got a lot to learn, and I want to get that trophy, many times in my career.
So there you go, Victor Wembanyama. And I also think there's something culturally where you look at some of the players, and I know that SGA is from Canada, but SGA was also part of the AAU upbringing. So, he's not from the States, but he also was a player that was playing young when he, coming up through and being friends with everyone. And I feel as if there's a different kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Wembanyama was over in France playing in a pro league before he came over here. He's not buddy with anyone. He doesn't need to. And we see that same kind of attitude as Jokic. Nikola Jokic is also the same way, where he is just trying to win. He doesn't care about other people. And Wemby admitting that this is something he wants is cool to see in this day and age.
The difference is Jokic, this is a job to him. This is a 9 to 5 for Jokic. And Wemby, this seems like more of his life.
Like an obsession.
And this is an obsession for him. And Jokic, this is his 9 to 5 until he can get home to his horse hobby. So that's kind of the difference. But
his horse hobby.
I will say that this has kind of shifted everything. It is one game, but for the first time since the start of the playoffs, the Oklahoma City Thunder are now plus money to win the NBA title. They've been minus 150, 160 to win the NBA title, which is crazy to begin with. Someone to be in the field to be a minus number, and they're now plus 125, and they're only minus 115 to win the series. And going into this, they were to last night's game, they were around minus 200. So just because of one game, they've come down and are now plus money to win the title. They're still 6.5 point favorites tomorrow night for game 2, but the momentum has definitely shifted because now, even if they win tomorrow night and go to San Antonio tied at a game apiece, the atmosphere in San Antonio is going to be, and I hope they do.
You want the fiesta crowd.
I want that fiesta.
You want the colors.
I want the fiesta so bad. That for game 3 better be a fiesta crowd.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. We're asking you to text the show at 310-840-4910. Who's the last athlete that wowed you? Last night was a wow performance from Wemby. My answer is Shohei Ohtani. What we've seen Ohtani do in the playoffs, in the last 2 seasons, winning World Series with the Dodgers, being the best hitter in baseball and also one of the best pitchers in baseball, and the performances he's had in the playoffs, to me, were absolute wow. So who's the last athlete that you think back to and being like, that was absolutely a wow performance? You can text the show at 310-840-4910. Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Let's play a game. Let's bring in Raj Sharon. Let's play Wemby or. Hello, Raj.
Hello, fellas. All right, rapid fire. We would never over-exaggerate anything in the world of sports this quickly, right? All right, so here we go. We're going to start with the under-25 division. You got to make a pick. No riding the fence. Abdalla. All right, here we go. Wemby or Anthony Edwards? Wemby or Ant?
Wemby.
Wemby or? You're going Wemby?
Yeah.
You guys both going Wemby? That was a softball.
Wemby.
That was a softball.
Yeah,
All right.
Wemby.
Or Paul Skeens?
Ooh, baseball.
Wemby. Paul Skeens gonna have 5 Tommy John surgeries by next year.
Yeah, but Wemby's skinny legs. You never know. You never know, Abdalla.
Skinny legs.
Don't do this to me. I'm going to go with Wembanyama, Raj. That's my answer.
All right, guys. This one, I admit, I had some joy writing it down. Wemby or Caleb Williams, guys?
Oh, no. Caleb Williams or Wembanyama?
You guys broadcasting from the great city of Chicago, lifetime Bears fans. Wemby
he's
or
the guy.
Listen,
he's going to win a Super Bowl for the Chicago Bears. It's going to happen.
Listen, Raj, football's a team sport, all right? There's offense, defense, there's special teams, all right? It's not just one guy that can take over a game the way that Wemby can. So, unfortunately, I am going to have to go with Caleb Williams.
Wow, you're going with Caleb.
No, I mean,
what do you mean? No, you just said Caleb Williams.
Yeah, look, it's the odds would say that it's going to be Wembanyama that's going to be more successful. Like, Wembanyama's on a trajectory here where he's going to win multiple MVPs. He's going to win multiple Defensive Players of the Year for sure. Man, for sure.
I didn't know you were a Caleb hater.
I'm not. Okay, get out of here with that.
By the way, guys, I do want to shout out the bet here. It is Alpha One, who is Wemby's favorite French rapper. But I don't know French, so I didn't know how to beep out any potential French cuss words. So we're just getting the beat, but a little French rap.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to answer this question honestly. Here's the thing, Raj. Wembanyama, if he lives up to the potential, is a no doubt lock Hall of Famer with a couple of championship rings, one of the all-time great athletes that we've ever seen in any sport. And no matter how good Caleb Williams can be, I don't think that that's necessarily in the cards. I don't think that Caleb is going to pass up Patrick Mahomes of like the quarterback of this generation, or like chase down Tom Brady. It's just not realistic. I don't think it's the case. You can't even look at
Bleck right now if you're watching on YouTube.
I know,
like if I can't even look at him.
You hear that, Chicago?
I think you have to go Wembanyama.
You hear that?
All right, guys, let's move out of the under 25s. We gotta go. All right, out of the 25s to current day. Wemby or SGA? Wemby or Scotty Scheffler?
Oh, okay. All right.
Scotty Scheffler hasn't won since he went to jail.
What are you talking about? He's won a lot of majors.
Has he? How many has he won since has he won since he went to jail? I think he maybe has won since he went to jail.
Okay, I think this.
Got a felon.
Okay, I'm gonna go Scheffler. I'm gonna go Scotty Scheffler.
All right, Raj. Wemby or Shohei Ohtani?
Shohei.
Yeah, probably Ohtani.
Shohei Ohtani at this moment.
Ohtani's probably going to be the best baseball player
any of us have ever seen.
So, yeah, Wemby's never going to... I don't think Wemby's going to eclipse Jordan, so...
All right, Wemby or... Put a pin in that, Abdalla. Wemby or Patrick Mahomes?
Mahomes. Like, I'm leaning towards the idea of accomplishments that I've already seen. It's so tough this early on to say someone's going to win multiple championships, MVPs. It's so tough, so I'm going to go Mahomes.
All right, now we're going to look into the future, guys. Now you really have to project. All right, soccer boys. Wemby or Cristiano Ronaldo?
That was so derogatory.
I know. I felt that. There was anger in that.
It was so mean.
Let us like the great sport. Come on. Wemby or Ronaldo? It's
Ronaldo. It's Ronaldo, dude.
Yeah, it's Ronaldo.
Wemby or Wayne Gretzky?
Oh, it's Gretzky.
Gretzky, the great one. Come on.
Gretzky.
Wemby,
what's the stat with Wayne Gretzky? He has more assist points than anyone else has goals scored in NHL history.
Like that, yeah.
Wemby or Muhammad Ali?
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
It's Ali.
Wemby or Tiger Woods?
Tiger Woods.
Wemby or Tom Brady?
Tom. I don't know if there's going to be a name on this.
Not Leather Daddy Tom, but...
Yes.
Wemby or Babe Ruth?
Oh, I'm going to go Wembanyama. I'm going to go Wemby. Babe Ruth did his work against other people that should be working at the dock. Come on. That wasn't real back in the day.
It depends on what you believe about Babe Ruth.
I'm going Wemby.
And what he may have been and what he may have actually been.
And finally, guys, Wemby or Michael Jordan. And that's
Jordan, get out of here.
Get out! You told Raj to get out
Get
of
out
here.
of here. What do you think I've got on my What do you think I've got on my feet today? I'm not wearing Wemby's.
Well, his shoes look nice.
the disrespect for Wemby. And again, shout out to his favorite French rapper, Alpha One, for the dope beat there.
Thank you, Raj. We appreciate it. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Wemby or. It's a good game. I like that. Jordan, get out of here. Get out of here, Raj.
Lacing up my. You think people are fighting in the streets over Wemby's? Get out of here.
Maybe one day.
Nope.
Maybe one day they might.
Never.
I don't know if I've ever seen a funnier situation of a quarterback who values himself as someone to hold out from a team that's also not going anywhere. Like this quarterback and this team. We'll tell you about that story coming up next.
The Patriots want revenge. The Broncos want payback. The Bills want retribution. It's all on the 2026 NFL schedule. And vengeance has never looked better. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
We'll talk a little football in just a couple moments here on Westwood One Sports. We're reacting to Wembanyama's big performance last night. 41 points, 24 rebounds, Game 1 winner in the Western Conference Finals. The East Finals start tonight, 8 Eastern, Cavs and Knicks. And we've been asking people to text the show, 310-840-4910. When was the last time you were wowed by an athlete? Wow moment. Last night was a wow moment from Victor Wembanyama. I said Shohei Ohtani for me. Seeing him in the playoffs is definitely someone on my list. Who was on your list?
I put that it came coming from high school to college. It was Zion.
Zion Williamson.
And
yeah,
then
you're right.
also watching him in high school, the highlights, and then to the pros, Devin Hester.
Okay.
A little bit of a homer pick, but, you know.
You can text the show at 310-840-4910 from the 616. We have a texture that says D Rose coming into the league and dominating, had the Bulls back. So that was the last player that they saw. That was a wow player. From the 847, Jack Lambert was one that was a wow player back with the Pittsburgh Steelers back in the day on linebacker. That's a good one. Let's see. You can always text the show at 310-840-4910. Let's see. Kind of a homer pick from the 630, but Caleb Williams. Every throw he makes is unbelievable. It's an absolute wow, especially his throw against the Rams to Cole Kmet was an all-time top 10 wow moment.
I'm surprised you read that one.
Why?
I'm just saying you're out on the guy.
I'm not out on the guy.
You're out
I
on
just
the guy.
said
No,
if
you're
you're
out on the
saying
guy.
career trajectory, Wembanyama or Caleb Williams, unfortunately, I think Wemby might be able to accomplish way more than Caleb Williams. Okay, let's see. From the 209, texter Chad in California, he says, what about O.J. Simpson, the ultimate wow athlete? He could knife his way through any defense. Also very large hands, and he would like me to play the large male sound effect.
The large male.
Yes, thank you. Get back. Get back, guys. Isn't that great?
Oh, my God.
Oh, how great was that? Yes, OJ could knife his way through a defense.
Must-see TV nightly, I'll tell you that.
Yes. Let's see. From the 585, texter says, am I the only one that wants to see the Bleck and Raj show? You got to leave your hometown bias behind talking to a national crowd now, Abdalla.
I didn't say anything. I just said that, listen, Chris is out on Caleb Williams.
That's not what I said.
I know the next great quarterback when I see it, regardless of where I live. I don't know. I know Chris all of a sudden sits in the national chair. He can't talk Chicago sports. That's fine. Not allowed to talk Chicago Bears. All I know is they were a couple throws away from making the NFC Championship game, but apparently he's not good anymore.
Sure, yeah, he's not good. That's exactly what I said.
Set a record for most comebacks in the last 2 minutes of in the NFL season, but whatever. Not good anymore, apparently, right?
Correct. That's exactly what I said.
Can't talk about him anymore, right?
From the 208, Caitlin Clark. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's a very good one. She's especially at Iowa, she was incredible. Shooting from the logo, scoring all the points. No doubt.
Do you remember how much it was to get in to see her games?
Oh, it was crazy. It's crazy. How about this one? This one I like as well. From the 541, Bo Jackson. Yeah. Bo Jackson was an absolute wow athlete.
Yeah.
He absolutely was. Baseball and football. It was incredible to watch Bo Jackson back in the day.
Yeah, that's a great one.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. You can continue your wow athletes at 310-840-4910. You can continue texting the show. Abdalla, we have the story here that the Cardinals are conducting their OTAs this week, and Jacoby Brissett is still holding out. So as of Monday and into today, he is yet to be there for OTAs with the Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett holding out. It's funny to me because he's a backup quarterback holding out from a team that's expected to be one of the worst teams in football. To me, he obviously saw the money that Malik Willis got from the Dolphins and thinks he should get paid like that. Although he's a backup, I would say the same goes for Malik Willis. I'm surprised the Dolphins give him that money, but to me, he's a backup.
Well, yeah, look, Jacoby Brissett is number one on their depth chart right now, and I'm sure he wants a reworked deal because this is the last year of his deal. He's not making a lot of money. He's making backup money, like you said. The team also drafted Carson Beck, which is certainly a flyer. You know, like you draft Carson Beck, you don't think he's going to be great this year if he develops into something cool. If not, the Cardinals have the lowest win total in Vegas right now at 4.5, along with the Miami Dolphins. The Cardinals have picked a lane. They are going to be bad this year, and they have not found their quarterback. They are going to be picking their quarterback next season, whether it's Arch Manning, whether it's Dante Moore, whether it's whoever it is. Doesn't matter who it is. They're going to be picking a quarterback. Jacoby Brissett, I don't know if it's a who do you think you are? It's more of a who do you think you play for? Like, you're not holding out as the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots or the Baltimore Ravens or you just mentioned them, the Chicago Bears, who are trying to make the playoffs and win. You're holding out from a team who's trying to lose the most games possible and have the number one pick. You're doing them a favor. Like, what are you trying to do? Yeah. The best case scenario for the Cardinals is they start Carson Beck and he sucks. Well, and then they draft another quarterback.
That's not the best case scenario for the Cardinals. The best case scenario is that they start Carson Beck and he's a good quarterback. That's the best case scenario. I disagree. I don't think the objective for the Cardinals this year is to be as bad as possible to try and tank for Arch Manning. That's not the case. You just drafted a quarterback in this year's draft.
Yeah.
You try to get the most out of that quarterback because your assessment of the Cardinals is exactly the opposite of the way that you're handling your opinion with the Steelers. The Steelers should not have Aaron Rodgers on the roster.
Yeah.
They should be as bad as possible. Mm-hmm. They just drafted a quarterback as well because they're going to hope that that's the development of the future.
But the plan is that the plan should be that if Drew Aller's bad, you're drafting another guy. Like, I know Carson Beck isn't good.
Boy,
I know he likes to.
That's a tough look to, in back-to-back years, just keep drafting quarterbacks.
Well, you draft him in the third round of a draft that we know picks from the third round in next year's draft would be in the 6th or 7th round. Like, that's what we know about this draft. We know that Fernando Mendoza, the number one overall pick in next year's draft, would probably be a 3rd round pick or a late 2nd round pick. Yeah. He's going to go after all these other quarterbacks are going to be taken in next year's draft. Like, good for Fernando Mendoza being the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft, but I'm sorry, buddy. If you were taken next year or the year or 2 years ago when it was Caleb Williams and Drake May and Bo Nix, all those other guys, like, you wouldn't have been picked that high. You just wouldn't have been. So Carson Beck and Drew Aller, I'm sorry, 3rd round this year, cool. Next year, you would have been 5th round, 6th round pick, something like that. So to take a flyer on them is fine, but the reality is they're not great.
Season 3 of Netflix has announced the quarterbacks that they will feature for their show, Quarterback. Here are the names: Jaden Daniels, Cam Ward, Baker Mayfield, our guy, and Joe Flacco. Could you imagine if Brissett participated as well, and a part of the show was watching Brissett hold out and what goes into the holdout? I would watch that.
Yeah,
I would be down with that.
I would like to know his mindset. I'm hoping that it's just I don't have a contract for next year and I'm thinking about my future and I would like some more financial guarantee beyond this season, that if he were to get hurt, that's all he's got, you know? But come on, man, what do you get in there and play?
Some of the other names are being texted to Bleck Abdalla here at 310-840-4910. The WOW athletes that you've seen throughout your sports watching history: Patrick Kane, Charles Woodson, Devin Hester, Bruce Jenner. So those are out there. You can continue texting the show at 310-840-4910. We go to Mitch in New Jersey. You're on with Bleck Abdalla. What's up, Mitch?
How's it going, Chris, Adam?
How's it going, my man?
What's up? Yeah, Wembanyama. He's Will Chamberlain II in the 21st century. But remember, Wilt only won 1 championship, and they changed the rules for him. And this guy, he's incredible, Wembanyama. He's like a giraffe. I want to say, imagine if he was more muscular, but he's strong. But I think Oklahoma is deeper, and SGA, he's going to take over. Watch. 3 of their guys had bad games yesterday, including SGA. Chad Holmgren is only 3 inches shorter, and Hartenstein can put his body on him. I think it's going to be a great series, but I think Oklahoma pulls it out, and you see why they gave SGA another MVP. He's going to take over. You just watch. Because I don't think Wembanyama's going to cover SGA, and they do have good guards. They are guard, the San Antonio. But I think SGA is going to just take over and show why he's the MVP. And thanks for taking my call.
No problem, Mitch. Call again, all right, my man? That's Mitch in New Jersey, hanging out with Bleck Abdalla.
Yeah, I would not put it past the Thunder to obviously find a way to win Game 2. That's why they're trying to win another championship. That's why SGA's back-to-back MVPs. They're still the best team in the NBA, even though they foul bait and they flop and all that kind of stuff. They don't need to do that to win basketball games.
You know, they're going to have to get more from Chet Holmgren.
Yes.
That's for sure. Last night, 41 minutes, 8 points, 2 of 7 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. He had 8 rebounds. They're going to absolutely need more from Holmgren. Lou Dort's going to have to give him a little bit more. Only 5 points last night. 1 of 5 from 3.
I don't know how there's a way to get more from Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso had the game of his life.
Yeah, but also, like, I think that's what the Spurs want.
Yes.
Caruso with 31 last night. He went 8 for 14 from 3. He went 11 for 19 from the field. And you're right. He had the game of his life in the playoffs, and Wembanyama was guarding him for a lot of it. But I think the plan for the Spurs defense is allow Caruso to shoot from the outside so then Wemby can play the rover defender and just be around the basket and help defense. And that is way more impactful than the 31 that Caruso got. I think it was a plan that the Spurs put in place, and they were okay with it.
Yeah. Look, I think it was a great plan. It obviously got them the win. I just think that the Thunder will find a way to bounce back and win Game 2. I think that's what Vegas obviously thinks as well. They're a 6.5-point favorite on DraftKings, and they'll go to San Antonio, tied at a game apiece, and to a very extremely hostile environment.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports in the Westwood One Sports app. The Eastern Conference Finals start up tonight. Remember the Knicks? They're still in the playoffs. We haven't talked about the Knicks in weeks, it feels like. I know it's just days, but it feels like it's been a minute. We finally get the Eastern Conference Finals started up tonight. Cavs and Knicks. We preview that coming up next.
Well, guess who's back?
Aaron Rodgers has finally decided to return to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's a one-year deal for the future Hall of Famer. Reunited with Coach Mike McCarthy, they won a Super Bowl in Green Bay. Can they do it again in the Steel City? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Make sure you check out the podcast of Bleck and Abdalla on Apple or on Spotify. And also, you can always find us on YouTube. Like and subscribe to Bleck and Abdalla Show on YouTube. We have the live stream up each and every day. Hanging out with you from noon to 3 Eastern right here on Westwood One Sports. Thank you to Raj and Roy for producing today's show. Jim Rome and the Jim Rome Show is coming up in 13 minutes right here on Westwood One Sports. We'll be back tomorrow from noon to 3, hanging out with you talking sports. So game one of the Eastern Conference Finals is starting tonight. 8 Eastern, ESPN Television. The Cleveland Cavaliers face off against the New York Knicks. And this series, I thought, was the best possible matchup we could get in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think the Cavs match up with the Knicks the best as far as when we look at the two from the prior series. I didn't think Detroit matched up well with New York. Didn't think that they could score enough. And with these two teams, the Cavs coming in per game averaging about 120 points per game, and the Knicks defense limiting opponents to about 101 per game. So you got a team that can score, a team that plays really good defense, and we've also seen to this point in the playoffs, the Knicks offense has been pretty incredible, but a lot of that is sparked by their great defensive effort, which then leads them in transition in the open court and their ability to get out and run.
Yeah, you also have a team that's been off for what seems like a month and a half in the Knicks and the Cavs, who are just coming off a Game 7 win on Sunday. And so I hope this isn't, the meme, the picture of the horse that's starting off being drawn really well, and then it turns into like the draw. It looks like it's being drawn by like a 2-year-old.
Sure,
that's what I feel like.
I've seen that picture.
Last night's game into tonight's game might be, because the Knicks are so well rested and the Cavs might be very tired. And so, look, the Knicks are a 7.5-point favorite going into tonight, and so it's a rust type of thing. But yeah, the Knicks, when they are scoring and their offense is on point throughout the playoffs we've seen, they look absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah.
They've been able to score 130 points, 125 points. It doesn't matter, but we know they have to do that because they are at times a defensive liability. They can't play any defense. And so if they get into some form of defensive matchup with Cleveland, I don't know if that's going to be the right game plan for them, because Cleveland's going to be able to take advantage of that. Like you mentioned, they have the shooting. They can take advantage of those defensive matchups because the Knicks don't have that.
Yeah, and I think when we look at the matchups overall in the backcourt, I think Bridges and Brunson facing off against Harden and also Donovan Mitchell. This is a great matchup, backcourt matchup. It'll be, I think, the thing that may change the outcome of the series is what do we get from Karl Anthony Towns.
Mm-hmm.
Karl Anthony, when you look at his ability, when he's aggressive and gets to the basket, he is great. But with Mobley playing defense the way he can he limit what Cat is trying to do offensively? And that's where I think the Cavs, why they're a good matchup for the Knicks, because they're big inside.
Yeah.
And, they also have Allen down low for the Cavs, who had a great Game 7 against the Pistons. And I think it's going to come down to who can make shots late and, have that performance in the fourth quarter to really spark the win in this series. And we'll have two traffic cones out there guarding each other and Brunson and Harden. As they both just go up and down the court trying to score. But, I think that this is a fascinating matchup, and
Yeah.
it's not going to have the same sizzle as what we saw last night because with the Thunder and the Spurs, the two best teams in the league facing off in the conference finals, it's a little bit different. But I think these will be competitive games, and I think this will be a good series. And I don't know if the Knicks are going to run away with it as much as the way it looked heading into this series, right? Like we had the conversation, I think you asked me last week when they advanced to the conference finals, can the Knicks win the NBA finals? Like we were having the conversation of like placing them in the finals already. And I'm not sure about that. I think this is a 6 or 7 game series. And I think two really good teams that match up well against each other.
Yeah, I think, again, it comes back to whether or not the Knicks are playing well offensively. Because defensively, we know it can be great, but most likely it's not going to be. If they're hitting threes, if they can do all that, if they look like they have at times, we know they can match up. But again, I don't think they can win the finals because of what we saw last night. Those are two teams that are playing a completely different brand of basketball than what the Cavs and the Knicks are playing.
No, I agree with you on that. I think when you stack up against the West, neither of these teams can win the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
But I do think that this is going to be a good series in the East. So it tips off tonight, 8 Eastern, ESPN Television, Eastern Conference Finals, Game 1, Cavs and Knicks. Bleck Abdalla hanging out with you here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Hey, Abdalla, do you have any zoo news?
Chris, I always have zoo.
Well, hello, Mr. Lion. Here's the latest edition of the Zoo News.
What do you have over
Let's
there?
go all the way to Japan.
Okay, all right.
Do you remember Punch the monkey?
Punch the monkey.
You remember the little monkey? He didn't have any friends, and then people were like upset that he didn't have any friends.
Did
and
he have like a little plush toy?
Yeah, he had a little plush toy. People were like upset that he didn't have any friends.
Yes.
And then he slowly was like he found someone to like take care of him, and then he was
an
slowly
international
making friends.
superstar.
He was an international superstar, and then he kind of disappeared for a while.
No.
Well,
he's missing?
2 people were arrested after a person broke into Punch the Monkey's enclosure in Japan.
Wow.
The zoo has said. 2 people were arrested in Japan after a person broke into the viral Punch's enclosure at a zoo outside of Tokyo, officials have said. The Ichikawa City Zoo said on social media Sunday that there had been an intruder in the monkey enclosure. 2 people were apprehended by police. The zoo said it performed safety checks on the animals. It said that no abnormalities were observed, but that countermeasures were going to be put into place. The images online showed a person wearing a bright blue suit and a smiley face mask scaling the fence and jumping into the zoo and trying to get into the monkey enclosure before an alarm went off. Punch and his stuffed monkey toy won over the internet's hearts earlier this year after he was cast away by other monkeys living with him and rejected by his own mother.
I saw this on the news last night. Did not realize it's that same
monkey.
Same monkey.
Same monkey.
Did not realize.
Same monkey. And listen, we know the animals, they don't like to be in the zoo, but we don't recommend trying to break them out.
Don't let them out.
Don't let them out.
Let us out, let us out, let us out, let us out. The zoo is overloaded.
No.
Don't let them out.
You're not supposed to jump in.
Don't do that. Yeah, we don't want you to do that. Punch is doing just fine with his new mom after his other mom rejected him, and he's still got the little stuffed animal.
I honestly, I saw that on the NBC nightly news last night. Did not realize it's the same little monkey.
Same monkey, Chris.
Did not realize.
And that is what's new.
Yeah, at the
zoo.
Yeah.
That's what is new at the zoo.
Wow, I did not know that was the same
Punch monkey.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Same macaw, or however they say it.
That's a bird. Isn't that a bird?
Well, yeah, but it's a
What is it?
MACAQUE. How do you say that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. I don't know.
Did not realize that's the same little monkey.
Yeah, same little guy.
Does he still look sad?
No, not anymore.
Okay, so he's okay now?
Yeah.
All right, that's Abdalla. I'm Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports. Jim Rome and the Jim Rome Show is coming up next.
This is Westwood One Sports.